Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is just a quick update on the winter storm that's in the Midwest right now. As you can see, you have winter weather advisories stretching all the way back from Nebraska all the way back into Michigan, and then you have the winter storm warnings in the central and northern Michigan. The latest addition to the winter advisories is from northern Maine, which could see a couple inches of snow, nothing too crazy, like that last winter storm that we just had. This will be nothing like that. This is for the next winter storm. As this moves up to the northeast through Canada, another storm is going to come from the west coast and drop down into Texas, causing some snow, and could be a lot of snow in some areas, in Kansas, northern Texas, Oklahoma, and then parts of Colorado. This storm will eventually dip down into the Gulf states and then go back up and try to make a run for the northeast and give some precipitation from the northern mid-Atlantic into the northeast. If we take a look at the precipitation shown by the radar of Weather Underground, you can see the storm is most likely around in this area in northeastern Missouri. You can see there's a dry patch in Iowa because the storm is going under re-strengthening and will be a sort of dry spot in some areas, and that just so happened to be in central Iowa. But if you go back to Nebraska and Kansas, you can see there's some heavy banding by Omaha, and that continues to strengthen over there. Meanwhile, as the storm moves further northeast, it brings down more and more cold air, and that's why the rain and snow line has dipped more and more south. Right now, that's approximately where the rain and snow line is, and you can see Milwaukee's just getting ready to change over snow. As this storm makes its way to the northeast, it will drag down the rain and snow line, and the snowfall will intensify in Michigan, Wisconsin, and maybe into parts of Illinois. If we take a look at the Madison area weather cams that we have right here, this is the latest update here. You can see that a couple hours ago, they was just starting to get a coating, slick, wet roads, nothing too crazy. But now you have snow-covered roads and grass that is starting to disappear. So I would give an inch or two on the grass, and then coating to getting maybe to 0.5 an inch on the roads. If we take a look at the short-range model, if you look at the Futurecast here, this is the HRRR, which is a pretty good model for this short-range. You can see that the storm wants to fill in that dry slot in Iowa at around 2 a.m. and then it intensifies that area by Des Moines, and that area continues snowing hard. Meanwhile, the storm starts to strengthen, and as you can see, almost all of Wisconsin is under snow now. The cold air has creeped down from Canada and has fully interacted with the system, causing a full-blown snowstorm all the way back from Iowa, and it's finally starting to snow heavy in Michigan. As the storm makes its way northeast, you can see that the snow line even comes a little more north as it makes its way into Michigan, but on the backside it falls back down rapidly. At least on this new run, it shows a couple of inches for parts of Kansas and Nebraska. Nebraska. A couple inches, maybe pockets of 5 to 8 on the eastern side, but as you get into Iowa, you can see by Des Moines, you could get pockets just to the west and east of you, pockets of maybe 8 to 10 inches, and then if you get into southern and eastern parts of Wisconsin, you get into pockets of 5 to maybe 10 inches, 12 max. But if you take a look at Michigan here, you can see you have pockets of 12 to maybe 14, 16 inches, at least shown by the HRRR. If we take a look at a different model, a NAM model, that is also pretty good at predicting snow and rain, you can see that if we go back here, this is what it has at 10 p.m. So it has almost accurately predicted a dry slot starting to form in central Ohio. The storm could be a little more north on the new run in the NAM, and then as you can see, that as the NAM shows, it refills that dry slot in Iowa, and then eventually all of Iowa gets under snow and changes from rain. As time goes on, the NAM wants to bring the snow back into Michigan, predicting some heavy snow in central and northern Michigan here, mixing off to the northeast, changing over the rain rapidly, and then the storm pulls away. As you can see in the southern part of the screen here, if we can move to the south central part of the area, you can see a storm starts to form as well. This will be the storm going probably Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday event here. That goes from the central US all the way to the East Coast. You can see that you have a big blob of snow all the way from Colorado, parts of New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas here. You can see you have a big patch here of heavy snow that wants to move along and then quickly intensify, not to a major storm, but to a pretty decent sized storm, and maybe could bring some rain and snow for the eastern part of the US. At least on this run of the NAM, wants to bring snow all the way down to the coast here for Monday, which is pretty surprising for me because a couple days ago there was little to no precip here for the coastal part of the US here in the eastern part and northeast. But if we go back into north central US, you can see that these are the snow totals. A bit aggressive if you ask me in Michigan, where almost everywhere is from 8 inches plus wherever you see snow, but you can see how quickly the gradient here is of snow. You can see again west and east of Des Moines is that pocket of 8 to possibly 10 inches of snow, and then Michigan you have a big blob of 12 to 14. Now if we take a look at the central US here for the storm that's Saturday, Sunday, you can see it has a big swath of 3 to possibly a small part of 10 inches in Arkansas. If we take a look in the northeast, it shows some parts of coastal areas could get up to 4 inches of snow, like Long Island, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. I really do doubt that. Maybe cut that in half if you even see snow. So coastal could maybe a coating, maybe an inch if this were to happen like the NAM depicts it. But I really do doubt any major snowfall like this is showing. And then on top of that, we have another system for next week. The GFS is still consistent with this more nor'easter and snowfall at the coast look. But meanwhile, let me see if the new icon run is out. The icon still wants to go more inland track, like the last run has shown that multiple times. See a more rain event on the coast. Same thing here, it's just a little more stronger. Now, I don't think this storm would go too far to the north inland because you have a blocking high here, which is also called an NAO, which keeps the storm from moving straight up north. So the storm has to go out to sea here. Now the question is, how close to the coast does it get, and how strong is the NAO? Is the NAO too strong when the storm gets suppressed to the south and the coast sees little to no snow? Is it weak and the storm goes more inland track and then gets pushed off? Or is it just right where the coast could see pretty heavy snow right before Christmas? As of right now, couple models show that both. The Euro wants to go a little more inland track but still has snow at the coast, but the Canadian and the GFS both show pretty heavy snow on the coast, while the Icon is the only model that doesn't really show snow at the coast, as depicted here. It has a more inland track. I hope everybody has a great day, and anyone in the Midwest enjoying the storm, send some pictures to me. This would be a great time for us to interact during these hard times. Have a great day.